Today we're looking at AWeber in depth because I get a lot of questions of which email marketing software should I use, which email autoresponder should I be using. The one that I personally use is AWeber, and that's why you're seeing this particular tutorial today, because if you wanted to get started with AWeber, this is the one and only video that you're gonna need. So let's jump right into it. I'm gonna share with you just a basic overview of AWeber, and then we're gonna do a deep dive by actually getting a account going so you see exactly how easy it is. The reason that I like AWeber is I like the deliverability. The delivery rates are pretty spot on, so not a lot of emails get stuck in the junk or spam folder. I do like their customer service. They are as responsive as I expect them to be. But then they also have so many different tools that you can leverage, and it is a very low cost alternative or solution for you. If you happen to have less than 500 contacts, you can use AWeber forever for free. That's pretty powerful. Now I happen to have considerably more than 500, so at this point I am paying for the additional contacts that I send continual emails with, but it's a nominal fee considering the amount of business that I generate from those emails, but also it's a nominal fee compared against other email marketing software out there. So that's really a little bit about this. I mean, you can go through this at your leisure. You're not going to find value. We're not going to find too much value in going through everything here step by step. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a free AWeber account real quick. And go right here and use an email that I have not used here before. Sign up. And now it's going to ask for traffic lights. Let's see if we can get these right on the first time. Boom, 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 boom. Cool. All right, so we'll give it a couple of seconds. All right, so your account is created. Log in to Gmail. We just sent you an email to set up your account. Create your account, done, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so let me pull up my Gmail and see if I got it. We sure indeed did get it. All right, so now it's asking me for a password setup. Saved password. All right, we're on our way. So select the plan. I'm not going to be using that much. All right, so you see powerful, simple, blah, blah, blah. All the tools a new business needs to grow and engage. So maximum of 500. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit the free plan, and we're going to go to continue. So remember, if you have less than 500, this is all you need. If you have less than 500 contacts that you want to stay consistent with, this is all you're ever going to need. So, Jaime, YouTube video. And then here, I'm not going to put a website. Category. We're going to say that we're doing education right here. We're going to continue, and they're going to put the address. So this one is, you do have to put a physical address. Now this one does come into play depending on how comfortable you are putting your personal information here. So if you happen to have a business location, that's fine. That's awesome. So you're going to put that here. But for those of you that do not have a physical location like a commercial space, then you do have to put an address here. So a lot of us do not feel comfortable putting in our personal address. So a good happy medium, instead of you having to get a leased space, a commercial space, you can get a rental box office that the UPS store will generally rent you a little box where you can receive mail. There are other shipping places that will allow you. So basically it's a box rental, and you can put that address here. So I'm going to put mine. Right there. All right, so do you already have any email autoresponder? Well, I'm going to put no for the sake of our video today. What are your business goals? Grow my audience. We suggest integrations, blah, 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 blah. So we'll just skip that. All right, so here it is. Here is our brand new account. It is very painless. Now we're gonna go through and I'm gonna share with you what you absolutely need and what you may not need to worry about altogether. So over here, we're not gonna worry about this. We're not gonna worry about any of this, but we're just gonna, if you go to help, you're gonna get some help. So this is where you would go to support and reach out to them. You're gonna start off with an email, and you can also reach out to them to their full toll-free number. So this is a support. Integrations, it's just gonna give you different integrations that you can do. So if you want to integrate Zapier, if you want to integrate other marketing platforms that you're using, if you want to integrate it with Facebook, you do have that ability. And then when it comes to lists, there's no list. So let's talk about lists for a quick second, because this is going to be one of your most important items. Anytime you want to get started with your contacts, you do have to create a list. So this list is just a group of people that you want to communicate with. So you're segmenting them. So let's just say you had your database from another email autoresponder, and you have them all in a .csv file or a Excel sheet, so an Excel file. Then you could import this here and create a list and just call it Jaime's database. Or you can start importing, or you can connect your AWeber account to Facebook as an example, and all the leads that you're generating through Facebook, you can segment them into a list. So a list is a good way to categorize how you're going to reach out to them. So if you're a real estate agent, as an example, you can have a buyer's list, or a seller's list, or an investor's list, or a past clients list. You can categorize your audiences in that regard. It's and there's just so many different ways that you can go about it, but there's really going to be no limit to the amount of lists that you have, because those are just basically categories. And you can do the same thing with tags, which we'll share here in a little bit. But list is just basically, you can have one list if you wanted to, and then segment based off of tags. Don't get too bogged down on lists, but whenever you're sending out emails, you're going to see why this is important. So we're going to head over here to the dashboard real quick. Since there's no activity, you're not going to necessarily see too much, but once you start sending out emails, you're going to start seeing some graphs. You're going to start seeing some statistics down here. So your sent broadcast, your scheduled broadcast, so what's going on, the amount of subscribers that you have total, the amount that unsubscribed, the amount that you add. So this is a good little reference point. This is the dashboard. So not much activity because we just created. Whenever you go through and you start an email and you don't finish it, it's going to end up in drafts. That one's pretty self-explanatory. So you can create a message and use a drag and drop email builder. So let's just say that. We can just save and exit, and it's going to end up in drafts because you haven't done anything with it. It's just a draft. So now if we go to broadcast, there's going to be nothing there, but if we come back to drafts, it'll be there. So you don't lose your place. You don't have to sit down in one place and finish everything out at once. So just be aware of that. But this is the drafts. Now broadcasting is sending an email en masse. So the broadcast is, if I wanted to send a message, hey, I have a big sale this Friday, well, I would come to broadcast and schedule an email to be sent. So that's what a broadcast is. All right, so split test. Split test is, it gives you the ability to split test different titles, different verbiage, different way of saying basically the same thing. So it gives you the opportunity of split testing and see, hey, do people respond more with this email or with this email? So that way you're comparing apples to apples in the best possible way. Now, in this, unfortunately, if you do want to do the split testing, you will have to go with the pro plan. That's unfortunate, but what you're gonna find is a way around this is for you to send the same message, but in a different way, to half of segment your list to half of it, send it a certain way, and then the other half send the other email another way. So you can say, if you have 400 contacts as an example, we'll send to half of your list, segment the list first, that's what you're gonna have to do, send them a message one way and then send them a completely different message another way, and then you see your open rates, then you see your clicks and all that fun stuff. So that's a little bit about split testing. I'll be honest, I don't use that all too much, even though I have the pro plan. Should I be? Probably, but I just haven't done it. Campaigns, this is what your most common, this is what email autoresponders are most commonly known for. So, all right, so create welcome campaign. We're gonna go through hide these steps. You see right here, so when somebody subscribes to your newsletter, when somebody opts into your Facebook ad, or somebody purchases your product, then you get to send out a sequence. So that's what is happening here in the campaign. So whenever somebody opts in, what campaign gets triggered? This is what, again, this is what email autoresponders are most known for, that automation, that aspect of it. So when you go over here, you already see they apply a tag, and you can change that tag, and then you can send a message and then apply another tag, which is once it's complete. But you can absolutely change this. So we can create a campaign, create or import a campaign, or create a campaign based off of the template. So we're just going to start from a blank campaign just so you see it. Test campaign. So we're going to create. And now you see start a campaign when someone is added to your list, or start a campaign when a tag is applied to your new subscribers. So when somebody enters your list, so whenever somebody enters the list that we were just talking about, let's just say you created a list only for people that gave you their contact information via Facebook. Well, the moment that they enter that list, that's when this campaign fires. Or if you want the triggering point to be whenever a tag is applied, so let's just say when somebody gets added to your list and you want to manually add a tag, as an example, you yourself manually add that tag, well, you can absolutely apply that tag and then the campaign gets triggered. Or I'll give you another example. Let's just say you have a welcome sequence where you send out email 1, email 2, email 3, email 4, welcoming a new client. This is another example, so bear with me. So those four emails get sent out. Well, if you create a campaign where at the end of it, you apply a tag, welcome complete, well, you can also start another sequence now that that welcome is complete. So the moment that somebody comes into your world, they're going to get 4 emails automatically. So that's a campaign that you create. And once the welcome sequence is over, then you can start another one, a completely different campaign. But we're going to go with unsubscribe. So you see right here, unsubscribe. And now unsubscribe, I want to send a message. All right. So then I'm going to do it again. And I'm going to do it again. And then I'm going to do it again. So these, and then to create the message, all you have to do is go over here and start building that message. I'm not going to worry too much about that because I do have another video that speaks about it, but I'll just save it for the purposes of this video and keep going. So you see right there, that's an email that'll go out. Now let's just say as soon as this enters my new subscribers list, this email is going to go out. Then I want to wait a day before I send the next one. Then I want to wait another day after I send that next email. And then I want to wait another day. So this is my welcome in sequence. But now I want to apply that tag. Remember that little example that I gave you, send out 4 emails and then apply a tag? Well, now I can add a tag over here. That's pretty powerful. Now I can send them wherever I want. So once my welcome sequence is over, then I can have another sequence be activated. So that is pretty powerful. So I'm just going to save and exit real quick. All right, so issues found, of course, because I did not go through and actually write the emails. But what you can see here is one of the biggest mistakes that everybody is going to have is whenever you start receiving leads, or whenever you start selling product and you get the emails to your support email saying, hey, I never got my product. Hey, I never got the logins. Hey, I never got the information that I was promised. Chances are that the connection is done and good. But chances are that this right here was never activated. I cannot activate it right now because there's issues, but you have to go from draft to activate that campaign, and you're going to see it turn green. That's going to be one of your biggest things. So whenever somebody sends you an email saying, hey, I didn't get anything that I purchased, well, chances are that you made the connection between this and your landing page generator, your WordPress, your Facebook ad, everything. So you made your connections where you wanted to, but you failed to activate. That's what's going to happen, because it happens to me a lot. So those are a little bit about campaigns. And then the blog broadcasts, these are pretty cool. I don't use them all that much, but check this out. Blog broadcasts are one of the easiest ways to continually engage your audience. Your latest post will be automatically pulled into an email newsletter that's sent at your chosen time. It's that simple. So that's pretty cool. So your post will automatically be pulled into your email newsletter that's going out regularly at whenever you have them scheduled to go. So that's pretty powerful. I just got into blogging earlier this year, so I will actually need to use this a little bit more intentionally, but right now I don't. So just give you a heads up on that. And then the email template manager, I highly encourage you, anytime you start talking about creating a campaign, start here. Create your templates, because if you start making your emails over in where we were at in the broadcasting, you're not going to be able to pull those into your other campaigns. If you're using the same welcome email, if you're sending the same thanks for contacting support email, if you're whatever type of email that you are going to be using again, which chances are you are going to be using most of your emails again and again, make sure that you come over here and create your own template, create your own design. So that way, whenever you're creating other campaigns or creating a broadcast, you can quickly pull it into your automation, and that's going to really cut down a lot of time instead of having to recreate every single email, because that is a pain. So we're not going to go through and spend any time here in creating this. I want to get you through the entire toolbar, but just know that this is why you need to start here whenever you're creating emails, because that makes it so much easier. Once you start receiving subscribers, you're going to see the subscriber count here. You can add subscribers one by one, or you can import them. So whenever you import them, I highly encourage you. Here's one pro tip. So please pay close attention right here. If you are going to be adding people to your list one by one, whether they emailed you to opt in, whether they contacted you via person or what have you, if you're adding your subscribers one by one, make sure that you're not adding more than about 6 to 8 emails at once to one list. So meaning 10 people came to you and said, hey, add me to your newsletter because I saw you at this event. Great. So don't go one by one adding them. So when you go one by one, you can put their name, their email, and then where they're coming from, add any tags and all that fun stuff. Don't come here and add them one by one. Those 10 people, what you need to do is you need to create an Excel sheet or a CSV file, whatever it is, and you want to import them. You can import them or you can copy and paste them right here, whatever's easiest for you. So you see the files that they accept, .xls, .xlsx, CSV, all that fun stuff. If you have, again, so once you start adding more than 6 to 7, 8 people in one day, so in one sitting, you're going to run into a problem because AWeber is going to see you as a spammer. AWeber is going to see you not in the most favorable light because they don't know where these emails are or registrants are coming from. These subscribers are coming from. So they will actually block you from adding any more people to that list. So pay very close attention because this happens. So again, if you have more than, let's just say 8, I want to be conservative. I want to say 6, but let's just say 6 to 8 people. If you're going to be adding them at once, then I highly encourage you to import them at once as opposed to adding them one by one, because if you add them one by one, then chances are you will get your list locked for at least 24 hours and then it's going to back you up. So just make sure that you have that understanding. All right, so adding subscribers, same thing. We were just talking about that. Import history, we don't have any history here, but you see what's happening. Now, sign up forms, you have the option of embedding your sign up forms in your WordPress website, in your landing page generators, in your Wix, Squarespace, any types of websites. So these are things that you can embed. So you can create a sign up form. You can say for your website. And then you can have one of these little opt-ins, right? So you can embed this over on your website. We're not going to get too in depth into this because you have so many different types of websites to work with, but this is where you would go to do that. And you can link this particular form to your any list that you want. So this is where, if you have a newsletter as an example, you can embed this on your website and then have that list name be website newsletter or blogger newsletter. So this way you're able to intake and start individual sequences how you want. If you're heavy in the blogging space and you have a certain lead magnet that only applies to that particular blog that you wrote, then you create a little form here and you put it within your blog and have this come straight into your AWeber, and then you instantly shoot over whatever it is that you promised. That's how you pull the eyeballs, the readers, into your CRM or into your email autoresponder quickly. That's how sign up forms work. So I have another video actually on this particular case. So I'll make sure that I link it. But this is the sign up forms. That's how you're able to, again, turn the viewers into actual prospects. Landing pages. If you don't happen to have a website, you have the ability to launch a landing page. So notice everything has been free up until now except the split testing. That's pretty powerful, right? So up to 500 contacts, you don't need to pay AWeber a dime, and you get so much functionality out of this software. You don't have to go out and purchase a landing page generator. You don't have to have a website. This actually does it for you. So that's very powerful. If you wanted to offer whatever it is, let's just say this, just preview this for a second. That's pretty professional. You're gonna get your own. Well, it's not gonna have your actual domain, but you have a very presentable little opt-in page for people to give you their contact information. And again, very similar to the forms, it will go specifically to a list that you promise. I mean, how many times have we seen these types of landing pages? These are pretty top notch. Web push. This was pretty neat. This is actually, I would say, less than 6 months old. Check that little automation over there, and that'll give you an idea of what this looks like. Send the right messages at the right time and drive visitors back to your website. Take advantage of the fantastic click-through rates and a deliverability without the need to collect contact information. Okay, well, that didn't tell us much. But basically, these are push notifications that instead of it being an email, it's just a push notification. Hey, check out this blog. You get push notifications in your subscribers' emails, or email, if they have Gmail as an example, it'll be a push notification. So that's pretty powerful. So web push notifications, this is something that, again, it's not that old. It's less than 6 months old. Now reporting is very powerful. So we don't have anything to report here. However, you are able to see your unsubscribed, your subscribes, your click-through rates, your open rates, all the meaningful information that you absolutely need to be looking as a business owner or as somebody that is doing the emails. If you're sending emails regularly, you have to know your open rates. You have to know your click-through rates in order to improve, because keep in mind this email list, you want to maximize the amount of people that click on them and open them and click through, so you see what's resonating and what's not. It does you no good to have 5,000 emails, or in this case, let's just say 400 emails, and nobody opens them because they think your emails are boring. They don't see any value in your emails. So that's a self-defeating purpose of having one. But again, we don't have too much information here. If you're looking for that tracking, this also is a enhanced feature. So we're not going to cover it too much. I wanted to just give you the fact that it's there, but the pro is gonna, of course, the free is gonna be powerful enough, but if you see enough value, either have more than 500 or see enough value in tracking different results, then you certainly want to go to the pro. And then list settings, we're going to cover this real quick. This is the other element. This is another huge element that comes with AWeber, and what makes it different than other email software. So list name, you can change that. We only have one list. A description of what the list is, where it's coming from, your name, contact information, save all settings, great. Personalize your list. So I do need to include the website and everything else. So your email signature, you can change it. The website, whenever people click on it, you can save it, all that fun stuff. Now, here's the confirmation message. This is what's most important. Whenever somebody opts in to your email, or opts in to your message here through AWeber, it will send out a confirmation email saying, hey, do you want to confirm you being subscribed to Jaime's newsletter, as an example. So if they do not click, yeah, I want to confirm that, then it is not going to count as a subscriber. So and this is very important, so pay close attention here. If somebody's over on my blog and I offer them the recipe cookbook, if they gave me their contact information, well, if they give me their contact information and they do not, and they receive this message, confirmation message, and they do not click confirm my subscription, then that recipe book that I promised them does not get delivered. And I also do not get that subscriber in my list, so they're never going to hear from me again. They have to confirm their subscription. Now, I say that because that's material and that matters. With time, you are able to say, hey, don't do that. Right now, it's although I flipped it on, it's still gonna send it. But what happens is, with time, as the open rates, as AWeber sees you not as a spammer or somebody that's using to really take advantage of email on scale, they are really, really serious about this because they appreciate their open rates. And one of the best ways that they have found to filter out the spammers is by having this subscription. So with time, as you start sending more emails and as your list matures, then you can call AWeber and request an override saying, hey, can we cancel this subscription link because I'm not getting a lot of people that subscribe, or I'm not getting all of the people that should be subscribing into my list. And they're gonna look at your history. If you have a history of sending emails regularly, if you have a history of not getting too many complaints or any complaints of spam on your account, because they are able to report spam accounts and you do get noticed if you were reported as a spammer. They don't tell you who, but it'll tell you, hey, this was flagged. If you have a clean list, if you will, or a clean history, they will waive this. So that's super important. That's super important, especially if it's an external. I know I'm getting into the weeds here, but this is important, especially if it's an external. If they, let's just say you have an opt-in over on WordPress as an example, and you have your own opt-in. For whatever reason, you have your own opt-in. You didn't create it through AWeber. If that opt-in is not one that they control, they're just receiving the contact information. If that's the type of opt-in, you do have to call. You do have to call and get that override. If it's an internal opt-in, meaning you use their landing page generator, you use their form, so they know where that lead is coming from, then when you click this, turn this off, then you are able to get that override automatically. So just want to make sure that you're aware of that, because that does matter. I know we got into the weeds, but I want to give you the pros and cons of AWeber. I want to give you the entire breakdown so you know how to get started with AWeber the right way. It took me a little while to get started, although it is intuitive. I came from other email autoresponders that I was used to having a certain feature, a certain way of doing things. And what really tripped me up the most was this confirmation. So that's why I spent so much time giving you the inside information on how to get rid of this confirmed subscription little email, because it can get a little bit frustrating when you spend so much money or you spend so much time getting somebody's information. The worst thing that you can do is be locked in, not in limbo, because they didn't confirm the subscription, because we understand things happen.